Beloved community where we discover divinity, uncovering who we are in our loving community. It doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what you've done. All that matters is you're here now. Keep an open heart, let Spirit work it out. Beloved community, we gather in unity. All are welcome here, all are blessed and a blessing to be. Beloved community where we discover divinity, uncovering who we are in our loving community. Oh, it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what you've done. All that matters is you're here now. Keep an open heart, let Spirit work it out. Beloved community where we gather in unity. All are welcome here, all are blessed and a blessing to be. Oh, beloved community where we discover divinity, uncovering who we are in our loving community. Oh, uncovering who we are in our loving community. Oh, uncovering who we are in our loving community. Thank you, thank you.
Is so heartwarming and touching. And the lyrics are, we are loving a community where we discover our divinity.
Right.
Is that your song?
It's a new Floyd Lula song, and Gary's been playing it up in Reno and a number of different places, and people seem to be really responding.
I think it's fantastic. You guys, obviously you were responding to it because the energy in the room just picked right up as you were each connecting with each other. And from my perspective of sitting back here watching this room fill up both with people, with your energy field, and then watching you share that with each other truly is a blessing. So thank you for kicking our morning off that way. How does it feel to you all? Good. I love it. The more energy, the better, right, for us?
Amen. Gotta
so
be.
We're honoring the Floyd Lula, and there's going to be some Cox Lula, and then who knows what else is going to unfold today, right? Our goal today is to play. That is the goal today, is to just play within the realm and the energy of spirit. And that's what we are here to do today. So I invite you to open up to a new experience today of letting go of what your previous experiences have been in this room, in the sense that we're hoping to not stick so much to a rigid schedule, just in the way of letting spirit flow. So a big hello to those of you that are watching us online via Zoom and YouTube, and obviously a huge welcome to those of you in the room. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. My title here, among all the other titles I have in my life, is the spiritual leader of the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. This is this community that we're in, where we meet in person once a month. And this location here at our current home at 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California, as well as technically on Zoom in that virtual space, and then every other Sunday we come together virtually. So today's the day that we get to feel the power and the presence of the only thing that there is, which is the divine or source or God, we like to call it, by feeling each other's presence, by looking in each other's eyes, by hugging and high-fiving and all of the various things that we do to be reminded of the presence itself. It's so interesting to be in this room preparing and setting up, and how it's really quiet and silent, and then there are these moments of like, are they going to come? Are they going to come, right? It's like, are they going to come? And then, bam, it changes and the room fills up. And so I thank you for that, not just for your physical presence in the room, but the presence of the divine that you bring into this. So I would like to do what we call as a spiritual mind treatment to kick us off. Jamie's going to play some music. He's going to strum a dum-dum on the guitar. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if that feels good, and if not, keep them open and watch the machinations that unfold in my being as we affirm and remember that there's only one thing that's ever taking place. It's that which is called God. It's the infinite power of the universe. It expresses itself in its completeness and its totality and its wholeness by means of each one of us, whether we know that or not. And so today is the day that we allow ourselves to know it in a new way. To surrender, meaning let go of our human attachment as to how we look, how we feel, how we showed up, what happened prior to now, and being detached from what is possibly to come. For we remember that as we tune into the vibrations of the divine, that high frequency of Om, that we feel the pulsating presence of life itself. And it gives us space in mind to remember who we are as mental, spiritual beings. And it's a reminder to lean into that remembrance that it's infinite and unfailing by nature. And that we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, so that which we choose to be is this made manifest in our experience and is a magnetic field and force that draws back to us more of itself. So today is that day that we let go and let God. On the wall above your head, it says in this beloved space, "For my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people." Today we bring into our mind all people and affirm the spiritual truth that exists for all of us. For we are all the perfection and the completeness and the wholeness of that thing. Call it what you want. It never changes. We let it be. And so it is. Thank you. You have a song, Jamie? Yeah. Jamie's going to sing us a song.
Today I enter in this infinite accord to be a place where the Spirit of the Lord won't go unnoticed. As I sing this song and breathe with every moment, I taste, touch, see, hear, and feel. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. How can I serve thee? Let me know what I can do that I might be a place of light and rest in you and deep compassion for myself and those who need your loving kindness. Like a jasmine summer breeze, I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. If you want to sing that. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. I love my God. I love give up my heavy load that I've been lugging, like it was a suitcase full of gold. I'll rearrange that, alchemize my past and pain, distilling moments until I witness all I gained. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. Come on, y'all. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. Let's do that one more time. Oh, I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. Oh, I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, and God is here for me.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard me inserting words in there. It was,
Oh, really?
I'm here for God, here for God, here for God, oh Lord.
Yeah.
Here for God. Beautiful chant.
Do I have to give you a
No.
copyright? Or?
No, baby, you go
Okay.
for it.
Just
You
making sure.
use it.
Thank you.
So we open our service most Sunday mornings with a ritual, a ceremony, if you will. We're going to do that today as well. And I came across this quote this week that I think is so important for each of us to remember. And it's this: ceremony and or ritual isn't the only time you're supposed to carry yourself in a sacred way. It's supposed to remind you that you are sacred and to carry yourself that way every day. The ritual that we use on Sunday mornings is called calling in the light. Today we're going to light the candle, and we do that promoting the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The power that we speak of, the word God has been used a lot this morning, responds to all alike. I invite you to open up to a new definition, a new meaning, a new experience of that word. If there's any ilk or ick in your system when you hear that word, allow yourself to feel that. And let the emotions of your feelings rise up and make themselves known, and ask yourself in that process of life is, why does this feel good or not feel good or not have any feeling whatsoever? And then be open to something new showing up in life, and then ride the sensation of that feeling until you're ready for the next one, and let that rise up as well. I'm going to read to you a post from one of my peers. His name is Reverend Rafe Ellis. And it was this that I think speaks to all of us. I'd like for it to be the basis for our ritual this morning in lighting the candle, because I'm sure we all can relate to this. He says, over the past 24 hours, I've been reminded of how excruciatingly easy it is, the default to separation, to other people, to choose polarization over oneness. I've chosen to be radically and lovingly honest, taking responsibility for every thought and feeling I've experienced. There's nothing easy about that. I've chosen to be accountable to live what I teach, to find peace in the midst of turmoil, to love beyond human fears and failures. I've chosen to return over and over again to an intentional thought of oneness, of wholeness, to embrace that every thought and every individualized expression of creation is happening within myself, uppercase S, my true, authentic spiritual self, because I truly do believe the spiritual truth that there is no separate me and no separate you. We are one. I believe that the power to choose healing can only be ignited by standing oneness in an absolute refusal to be moved into separation. In one consciousness, what healed anywhere is healed everywhere. Knowing God, spirit, life, whatever I call it, is fully present as everyone and everything is only a nice idea until I choose to actually see it and be it. I choose to see God in everyone. I'm going to invite us all to say out loud as I light this candle, I choose to see God in everyone. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I choose to see God in everyone.
And so as we light this candle and declare it the healing candle, the wholeness candle, we know in our teaching that as we use our power of word, that word has power. We just spoke to. When healing occurs anywhere, it occurs everywhere. And so let's declare healing for people in our life that we would like to have an experience of greater healing, a greater revelation of their oneness. One of our beloveds, Andy Belling, is in the hospital right now in the journey of healing, and I declare his name into this light of healing. Any other names, feel free to stand and say them, or places or things.
Lula.
So, good. The people of Marrakesh and surrounding areas of Morocco. The fires in Lahaina and the healing that's taking place there. So let's all feel this light of the candle. Not necessarily like I'm feeling it, but feel, you can even relate that as I put my hand over it, what that would feel like in your hands. In fact, I invite you to open your hands and place them out as I am doing right now over this heat. And let your mind imagine this heat as I get closer and closer to the flame. I'm doing this to let us all remember the power of imagination that we have. And let's use that power of imagination to invoke healing on the planet. And know that all whose names we've spoken are now feeling this instantaneous healing. And those names that we haven't spoken and didn't know to speak are still on the journey of the healing, because the power responds to all alike. We'll leave this candle lit throughout the service, and should you feel a need to return to that feeling, put your hands in the air and draw the light in. Jim, you have a song for us?
Everything beneath the sun breathes like a harmonium. Pure perfection has begun, shining like a midnight sun. Out of darkness I have come. I see God in everyone. Let me be an instrument, guided by and heaven sent. May these grapes of pain ferment, alchemize to love's content. Ever be a sacrament, knowing God is my intent. Oh God, let me know your name. Hold me in the same breath as your word. Oh God, I feel you all around. Oh, how you astound me with your grace. a thundercloud. Let me live my love out loud, standing for mankind and proud, alchemized through love's ring proud. Ever be, but I messed up the last verse. Sorry, I'm gonna start again. Let me be an instrument. No, that wrong verse, sorry. Rolling like a thunder cloud. Let me live my love out loud, standing for mankind and proud, baptized in a holy shroud. Peace be still and know me now. God is in all I have found. Oh God, let me know your name. Hold me in the same breath as your word. Oh God, I feel you all around. Oh, how you astound me with your grace, spinning like a prayer feels, turning like Ezekiel's wheel. Nothing like a kiss seals the spirit I've become. Oh, knowing what I'm here for, rowing on to distant shores, flowing from the infinite, God in everyone. Oh, God, let me know your name. Hold me in the same breath as your word. Oh, God, I feel you all around. Oh, how you astound me with your grace. Out of darkness I have come. I see God in everyone.
Wow. So many.
It's a Floyd Lula. It's the first song that Gary Lynn Floyd and I wrote together.
That's the first. They call them God bumps. Goosebumps. Yeah. That's the first song the two of you wrote together.
That's the first song.
My emotional reaction is because I know Gary very well, and I know when this combination, this duo came together, that makes it even more powerful.
Yeah, it was powerful because we'd heard about each other for years. Like, because he lived in Dallas, but he moved out here to do an album with Doug LeBeau. And we finally met at Global Truth Center when they were still in North Hollywood on a Wednesday night Tazay. And the bromance started like immediately. And I said, well, come on over and I'll cook for you. You know, feed a musician, you'll get him there. And he came over and we talked for like hours. And then he said, well, I've got this melody. I don't know if it's an instrumental or whatnot. And we immediately started writing it. And I said, let me get the litmus test. I said, I'll get my wife. And I said, I got $10, says she'll be crying by the end of the first verse. And she was. But it's like we've just gone on. It's been over 10 years now that we've been writing together.
And did you get the $10?
No. Well, I've got it back 1,000
many times over.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, so amazing. So just as Lenore spoke up and asked a question, as we move through this service together, we're inviting all of you to do that. If there's something you'd like to share, something you'd like to know, feel free to do that. Know that we are on Zoom, so I may need to share it back with the people on Zoom. But that really takes us on the journey of what we would like to do today. The lyric in there that spoke to me the most was baptized in the holy
Baptized in a holy shroud.
In a holy shroud.
Yeah.
And that speaks to me on so many levels because of the beauty of it, right? The sacredness of it, the far-off traditional God-like meaning to it, which is really why it spoke to me in that moment. It took me back to the day that I was literally baptized as a probably 6 or 7-year-old at the First Baptist Church of Jonesboro, Georgia. And it was quite an ordeal because you had to say yes to accepting Christ as your Savior. Should never let 6 or 7-year-olds do that, by the way. They have no frontal cortex to their brain. For me, it was like, I get to put on a white robe and get in the water. So, which I put the robe on, and you go up to the baptismal, and it's way above the choir loft, and then there's the choir loft, and then there's the podiums and the preacher stuff, and then there's the congregation. And the story goes that as I'm all robed up and go down the steps into the baptism, and the preacher's standing there, and there's a massive cross in the sky looking down on you, and imagine all of it, and the organ's playing, and he says, "Do you, Keith Cox, take Jesus Christ as your Savior?" And I say, "Yes, I do." And goes to dunk me in the water, the great ritual, my legs fly up in the air, and all you see are legs and feet in the air. So, and my mother declared afterwards, I knew from that moment forward it was not going to be good, right? And as funny as that is, right, and it is funny, imagine hearing that as a child, right? Mm-hmm. That imprint was, well, Jesus Christ, not literally, but even then I can't please them all, right? Like I'm doing it wrong. And so that has a deep imprint on all of us, our childhood, our life, everything, and even the mistakes that are not mistakes to show up. It was so beautiful that in your lyrics, when you made a mistake, you didn't let your ego get in the way. You let the essence draw you back into saying, hey, I need to do this differently, right? Like I had shared earlier, like it's been one of those mornings for me where I walked out of the house, I had a complete little outfit prepared to wear and shoes, walked out without of it, all of it, right? So this is what you get. But it's perfect, right? Flip-flops, purple toes, black t-shirt, like it's saying yes to this power that responds to all and to all alike. So this morning, we're going to continue dialoguing as many of you have witnessed Amy and I do. Jamie and I are going to do that. I'm going to read some stuff, and then he may break into song. And if you all have something you'd like to share or ask, feel free to do so. I'm going to share another story with you that's not my own personal story, but I want to use it as an impetus for where we're going here. The story is of a very angry woman who goes up to the gates of heaven, and she's banging on the gates, demanding to see God. Absolutely demanding to see God, and she refuses to leave or stop banging until God, he, she, they, it shows up at the gate. And as the power does, she says in this angry tone, "Do you have any idea what's actually going on down there? The poverty, the corruption, the pollution, the economic crisis, the wars, the famine, the wasting of resources, disagreements over who can and cannot get married, so much more." She says again, wagging her finger, "Do you have any idea? Why don't you do something? Why don't you send someone?" And the power takes a deep breath and said, "I did. I sent you." Today, I want us all to say yes to that heed, that statement, that call, to know in whatever way feels right for us to do a little bit more in our life, not to be the presence, but to act in alignment with the presence that is within us. So often I think we forget the power that we have because we let our ego get in the way as opposed to letting the essence of Spirit guide us. Many of you know I send out a new thought text for the day each morning, and the one this morning is just fabulous, and I hope I have the right one today. The African proverb, yes, and it's an African proverb that was shared by the Dalai Lama, and it's this: if you think you're too small to make a difference, you've never been in bed with a mosquito. Right? Yeah, simple and powerful. Think about it. Think about being in a sleeping bag with a mosquito, right? That's a great guide for each of us to remember that no matter what's going on around us, to remember what's going on within us. Right? If we were to just tune into that which is within us, the light, right? Feel the presence of the light. It can remind us that there's something yearning to express itself through us. Flannery Zizek says, in all of us there's a divine consciousness, a soul that shines brightly within. Within all of us is a divine light. No matter who you are, what you've done, or what you believe, we each have source, the creative energy of life, the divine within us. It's that divine that was in me as I was dunked and the feet went in the air, right? That's still there. It's in every one of you. It's in you. It's in your beloved son, William, right? Who's just started his first week at NYU, which makes us all proud papas, and you the proudest of them all, right? And it's also in the names of the people that we called out for healing. Imagine if we each walked, like every day, and not see any of this. All that we see is the energy of the divine. Like,
it's interesting when I hear you saying this, and what comes forward for me is the indoctrination that probably most of us have experienced in the context of it's something out there.
right.
And so changing, the plasticity of our mind and our brain and whatnot to recognize that infinite presence within us, and that that Jesus was the example, not the exception, and that we each have within us those capacities to express and to reveal. And it's like, I sent you, I sent you, I sent you, I sent, the infinite sent all of us to be that correspondence of our highest selves to one another, and recognizing that and changing those old ideas. Because, I don't know about you, but I pray every day, I meditate every day, and it's been so easy lately for me to slip back into not enoughness,
Yeah.
and to stay in the consciousness. I could treat 24/7, for my consciousness to stay, to know that I'm one with the infinite, that it's not outside, it's not coming to save me, there's not a savior. I'm it. We're it.
So true. And for those that are online or in the room that may not know, when Jamie says treat, that's a short term for the word spiritual mind treatment, which is the method of prayer that's taught in this philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. I completely agree with you on that. I'll speak to my own personal calling as I walk my pathway right now, not just of ministry, but of my own self-awakening. And it's to know that it is out there, and it is right there, and it is in here, and it's everywhere. It is everywhere, right? And that the more and more I allow myself, either through intention or surrender, and sometimes surrender is intentional, right? To let go and open up and be willing to let the presence make itself known to me, which shows up in a myriad of ways, right? Then I have the ability to grow in consciousness. Because we were talking earlier that in the teachings of metaphysics and New Thought, there's a real internal struggle right now around what do we do with this teaching in the context of how do you spread the word, right? Because the old idiom, the old paradigm was the structure, right? The old paradigm of an old school church walls, right? And there's new elements in the movement are like, well, throw that out and let's do something new. Valid point. But it also doesn't have to be thrown out. There can be ways of doing it. The key is opening up, it's treat and move your feet was a great statement. So what that means to me, and I'm assuming it means for each of you, is there's great comfort in what was. There's a dedication and commitment to the journey of personal spiritual awakening, right? There's an opening of what can be, and at the same time, I'll speak for myself, I'm at a point where I'm open to its telling me what it is. The old me would be like, well, I need to vision board it, and I need to write it down, and I need to diagram it, and I need to make pictures of what it's supposed to look like and put those under my pillow, and I'm supposed to chant 42 ohms and do spiritual mind treatment and light a candle and release it, and then like, come on. Now
Wake
it's
up.
your turn, God. You know, God's
Wake
like,
up and
well,
do
I
it
sent
again.
you, Mary. You know, so really. Yeah. As opposed to all of that, those machinations, just saying, okay, I see God in everything, right? Like, I think when we all are willing to state that and believe it even if we don't believe it, then it reveals itself. It gives us the opportunity to reveal itself. That is when those miracles show up, which is really what we all want, right? We want them. But we need to redefine what a miracle is.
Yeah, it's not necessarily walking on water,
Right.
you know.
It's walking on wine.
It's walking on wine. But it's also, it's just the daily life of being able to stay in the consciousness. For me, it's about when I move off that center, it's being able to come back with it. It's like I forgive myself. It's so understandable that I would feel. My wife taught me, I think I talked about this before. She said, it's like when you're feeling the anxiety or the judgment, self-judgment, putting my hand on my heart and saying, it's so understandable that you should feel this way. You know, based on the indoctrination, what my parents gave me. And it's not a judgment of them. It's like, you know, I'm just choosing a different way. But it's so understandable that I should feel this way to bring me back to my oneness with you, with everything, you know. And, I mean, that's treating and moving your feet. That's a spiritual mind.
May I say a little bit about that,
Yeah.
please? So I'm going to build on that. It is bringing one back to their oneness, but what it is it's bringing us back into our awareness
Yes.
of our oneness. It's to our awareness of it. Because remember, we experience life relative to our awareness. It's important to remember, and I like to say that we're experiencing life, if we consider ourselves practicing metaphysicians, participating conscious evolutionists, we are bringing ourselves back to our awareness of our awareness. Right? And it's not just observing that, it's observing it, participating in it, experiencing it, and opening up to it with the intent of it evolving into a higher framework of that which reflects it. Right? Now that was a mouthful, right?
Yeah.
But also true,
Yeah.
right? But the reality is, how do we do that day to day, right? How do we do that moment by moment? I think one of the best ways to do that is to implore kindness.
Yeah, service, kindness.
Yeah, kindness, service. I have this little quote right here that says, kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their impact can last forever. We all know what it feels like to be in the presence of kindness. We all know what it feels like to be kind. We also know what it feels like when kindness has been shared with us. And we also know what it feels like when we've been or done in the opposite of that, right? And we know which feels better, right? From the World Kindness Day, the randomactsofkindness.org, it says 7 ways to start making kindness the norm in your life. One is to send an uplifting text to a friend or a family member. I kind of do that every morning, but it's pre-programmed. But imagine if you just sent a text to somebody and say, hey, I love you, or I'm thinking of you, right? Or a phone call. Sitting in traffic, wave to someone that's about to merge in and invite them in with a smile, right? Imagine if we were to say on the street when we're walking the street, you can say it out loud, but you can also use your inside voice as they're coming towards you, I see God in everyone. Right? Now that's kindness that is magnetizing itself. Another is share compliments with people. Reach out to a family member that you haven't spoken to in a while. I had that experience with my sister recently as she was breaking down the family house as my mother was moving. You and I've talked about that a little bit. And what I realized in that moment, my role was to just let her talk, right? A lot of that was telling me how angry she was at me, and that's okay. And I was in her then tell me. Like that, the gift I'm going to give you is to let you bring it on.
Yeah.
And I did, and it was so healing, right? If I had stayed engaged in the fight, no healing would have ever happened, right? But otherwise, it was just like, you want to call me names and go at it? Go, sister. You got 45 minutes. Have at it, right? Like,
Listening is a healing agent.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything speaking to you musically at the moment?
Yeah, I got this. It's another Floyd Lula song. I mean, we've written so much, and it was speaking to this. Let my soul serve the greater good. Let my soul serve where I know it could. Let my soul serve the earth that longs to be. Let my soul serve to set your spirit free. Let my soul see the best in you. Let my soul see and know the truth. Let my soul see your reflection in the sun. Let my soul see the light in everyone. Oh, I know, you know that our oneness will grow as we wake up. We'll know each other's heart. One with love is one with you. We are no longer two. Come on and let it go. One way we can be that truth is nurturing the fruit from sacred seeds we sow. Let my soul hear the song you sing. Let my soul hear the message that you bring. Let my soul hear the wisdom of your word. Let my soul hear the pain you have incurred. Let my soul be a healing balm. Let my soul be the peace and calm. Let my soul be the safety that you seek. Let my soul be the strength when you are weak. Oh, I know, you know that our oneness will grow as we wake up. We'll know each other's heart. Oh, truth is nurturing the fruit from sacred seeds we sow. Let it grow, let it show. Let our actions surpass the empty words that we've known. Bless the world and we grow. See the best in the rest as peace becomes apropos. Truth is nurturing the fruit from sacred seeds we grow. One with love is one with you. We are no longer
Oneness is such a big idea. It is an idea that I believe is a requirement for each of us if we are choosing to be evolving metaphysicians to look at, to open up to receive, to inquire about. This week I was reading about this. The title of the article was how, and I'm going to paraphrase it, how humanity almost disappeared. And there is now technology, obviously, as we know, that can research DNA in a way that it has been unable to do before, and it found a segment of humanity and somewhere in northern Africa that had not been found before. It was like a missing link in humanity. But also in that missing link, they almost went extinct, but then they survived. The reason I share that is I love science. I love reading about the evolution of humanity. I think it reminded me of the delicacy, of the fragility of life itself. I think we so often take it for granted. And also, it was a reminder to me of the oneness that we speak of isn't just that which we can see, touch, taste, smell in this physical world, right? If we are all souls of the one thing that is infinite by nature and timeless, then we are also connected to the souls of that lost group of humanity that had not been accounted for, right? So we carry that in our spiritual, soulful DNA, right? And the thing that I love so much about our teaching and our philosophy and faith and way of life, known as the science of mind, is that we can take that information, process it, understand it, absorb it, and let it be what it is. Or we can use that as a reference point of how we would like to choose to honor the oneness that we can connect with. We can honor those souls which are still alive wherever they are. They're not walking the earthly plane, more than likely, but if the energy of the soul is infinite, then it is either infinite or it's not infinite, right? There's no gray area. So they're there. We can express gratitude and thank them for being who and what they were so that we have the opportunity to be who and what we are today, right? We are a product of that evolutionary journey. And then to pay homage and reverence and respect to all that came before us by using the power that responds to all alike in a way of love and compassion and with wisdom and appreciation and reverence for not only them, but Mother Earth, right? To tend to our own awakening, right? I oftentimes go back to the great Michael Beckwith. You were speaking of Michael earlier this morning. He's brought so many gifts to our teaching. And one, I think, of great importance are the 4 stages of awakening. And I'm going to read them to you this morning because I'd like to have you use it as a a checkpoint of where you're at in your own journey without any judgment, or any celebration, just as a moment to check in so that we'll know how to grow. The first stage of our spiritual awakening, according to our brother Michael, is the victim stage. In this stage, we're in victim consciousness. We feel disenfranchised from the world, from opportunities, from what we've inherited, from the universal presence. We feel separated, isolated, and alone. In this stage, we oftentimes live life in this way. Something's happening to me. I'm a victim. I live believing that something outside of me determines my destiny, my happiness, my success, my well-being. The second is the manifesting stage, something that was really promoted in this teaching in the 20th century. It's a more masculine energy field. It's looked at in this way. Here we use what is often called mind power. We use our creative imagination and visualization in the right way. We're wonderful conversations, and we keep our attention high to create a vibrational match of that which we would want to manifest. It's very masculine because we're intentionally using the laws of creation and directing our attention. We're able to make something happen. In this stage, we often look at life in this way. I've learned to manifest. So I use my mind, my conversation, my spiritual practices, and begin to use spiritual principles to manifest the kind of life that I can imagine. A critical stage for us in the evolution of our consciousness and our awakening. The third stage is the through me stage, where the previous one was a by me stage. The first was to me. Third is through me. It's a more feminine stage of evolution. We've done work in stage 2 to understand the intersubjective power that we have in mind and the belief that our life is here for us, that the universe is progressive and that something wonderful is always trying to happen. And we've learned to yield to it now, to surrender to this creative energy, to give over to it in this through me stage. This is the stage in which we can go into the zone in life. It's those moments when we may have peak experiences of knowing that we see God in everyone and knowing that something's happening through us. In this stage, we are yielding. We're surrendering. We're allowing. We've come to an awareness that the order of the universe exists and that we all depend on nothing that we make, that it's just a divine order happening, and that order already exists, and our role is to yield to it and let it move and express through us. As if we were a conduit, yes, a channel, if you will. Yeah, you're not leaving stage 2 behind, you're rising above it and realizing that you may desire what you want to manifest, but that's not, that you're part of a creative process. Did that help? Good. Then we move to the next stage, if we're open to that, which is the oneness stage, which is as me. That's when any line of separation is dissolved and we feel our oneness with all of life, and it has no filter whatsoever. So it's not manifestation or through me. It's leaving victimhood behind, understanding that we have the power, the co-creative power within us, and we can use that to attract and magnetize into our world that which we desire. The third stage is understanding that there is that which knows more than we do, if you will, letting it do its thing through us. And the fourth is just being, right? You just go through life being. At a consciousness where you are magnetizing that which works for you in life. You don't have to struggle in the masculine aspect of planting the seed of the desire. It's letting, because you are one with it consciously, as we spoke a moment ago about your awareness, then of course it brings to you, through you, that which fulfills your needs, because it's governed by law. It responds by corresponding to the state of being that we each are. Just let that sit there for a second. Today we've come together so that we can remember who we are, to experience it in a new way, to commit to ourselves and recommit that as we leave this room, I started to say this plane of action, but I sort of mean that too, because we're leaving this plane of action and moving out into a vibrational frequency of life I'm sorry, I keep getting out of the camera shot. Into a vibrational frequency of life that's happening all around us that is beyond these walls. And what really matters and is incumbent upon and for each one of us is, how do we choose to show up when we leave these walls, right? And then how do we show up when we move into the next expression? And then how do we show up? And there are going to be moments when we show up and we're like, oh shit, did I really just say and do that? Like right now, like, did I really just say the 4-letter word S-H-I-T? Right? Right?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
It was
okay.
perfect.
So we get to decide, okay, is someone else's opinion of that word that they may think that's not sacred, is that true for me? Mm-hmm. No. Right? So does that change who I am as the totality of the full expression of God? No, because if I see God in everything and everyone, that's also true when I look into a mirror. And that's true for you too. That's our goal today on this date, September 10th in the year 2023, as we continue on our journey of our new theme for the month, PPB&J, which is peanut butter, and jelly. Peace, power, beauty, and joy. It's about really bringing it down to some sense of fun, some sense of frivolity, some sense of joy, and lightening up as we go through life, not meaning that we are wanting to be less than our possibilities and capabilities. In fact, quite the opposite, of letting go of anything that has enslaved us from being that wholeness and completeness of God. Mr. Lula, anything to add to that? Or song to that? Or
na 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 na. Turn my guitar up. You're not bad. You're not selfish. You're not ugly. You're not broken, damaged, or dysfunctional. You're not the things you tell yourself you are. Not the opinions of others or old scars. Because you are the light of the world. Oh yes, you are. You are the light of the world. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. And everybody sang, na 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 na. Words are simple. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. You're not stupid, lazy. You're not fat or too thin. You're not a big mouth, a crybaby. You're not a bully or original sin. You're not the things you tell yourself you are. Not the opinions of others, old scars. Because you are the light of the world. Oh yes, you are. You are the light of the world. Oh, make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit. 'Cause I'm gonna love you, make my heart your home. And I'm gonna love you when you feel alone. And I'm gonna love you when your blues creep in. And I'm gonna love you until the end and start all over again. Because you are the light, come on y'all, of the world. Oh yes, you are, sing it. You are the light of the world. Turn and sing it to your neighbor. You are the light of the world, especially if you're not feeling it today. You are the light of the world. Make a joyful noise now, people. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Come on now. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Everybody say, make a joyful noise unto the Spirit of your life. Make a joyful noise unto the Spirit, unto God's Spirit as your life.
Hallelujah. 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 Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Reverend,
being here today.
Reverend Dr. Keith.
Reverend Dr. Jamie.
Thank you very much.
The Rev Doc in me honors and acknowledges the Rev Doc in you. So thank you all for being here. It's a pleasure and a joy to be here and to share in this experience and to know that we're all walking this pathway of life together, and what a privilege it is to do that together. As a community, I say thank you for CSL-LA and let you know that we appreciate your support. Right now is an opportunity to support us financially. Robert has the bag in the back. He's going to hand it forward to Edward and just pass it along if you'd like to make a donation through cash or cash or check or jewelry, or no, just kidding, or however you might want to do that. If you'd like to donate electronically, you can go to our website, csl-la.org, and click on Donate there on our website, and or you can do it through the app in the App Store. Our app has been updated, and you just go to our app, Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and there's a place right there to donate. So as you're each doing that, let's know and affirm together that we are each abundant beings and that we're living in an abundant universe, being abundant, and it returns to us multiplied abundantly. And so let's affirm that and know that together. I'll let you know that we do send out, or I send out, or the Text Them All sends them out each morning at 7:30, a new thought for the day. And please enjoy and continue to use those and take those and share them with people that you love and that love you. Also, we have a weekly e-newsletter that goes out. That's first part of every week. You can sign up for that on our website, and we have our website and our app and all of that. Our next in-person service date is October 15th. So I hope to see you all here with friends. We have coffee and some snacks outside. Please avail yourself of those and take a moment and practice honoring the God in each other before you choose to hit what many like to call the real world, but it's all the real world, beginning at Santa Monica and Lexington Avenue. I don't know if you all know this or not, but that intersection was named right before the rabbi retired Shalom Peace Square. And so, yeah. And so there's a sign in the lobby that is a replication of the ones on the street signs. And so every time I enter that intersection, I like to look at the signs and touch it as if I was touching mezuzah on the door. That's the right word, right? Mezuzah on the door, of honoring the energy in the room, the energy of where I'm at, of bringing peace there, and I invite you all to do the same. As we close, I'm going to take the light of the candle. And let's take ourselves back to where we felt it earlier. And just be appreciative of the journey that we've been on this morning. And that we got to share it together. And let the energy of the heat just remind us of the power that is within us. It can burn or it can light up a room. It can transform or it can heal. Today's the day that we each get to be more and more of it through our acceptance and awareness. It's all energy. And so as we navigate our humanity moving from this moment forward, let's do so letting our divinity be the guide. As I put out the light on the candle, I invite you to feel it igniting itself within you. And let that light illuminate your pathway now and forever. And so it is. Thank you for being here. Have a fantastic Sunday. Namaste. And goodbye to those of you online. Thank you.
Bless you, bless you.
Bless you. That was fun. Yeah.